Back in January, Jake and I received our PADI open water diving certification in Panama. Ilse already had an advanced certification. With the entire crew always now certified, one of the things that we wanted to accomplish in the Galapagos was to dive the infamous Leon Dormido, which means sleeping lion and named after its shape. It's more commonly known as Kicker Rock. This rock is offshore San Cristobal Island. It stands proudly out of the water as the remains of a long-extinct volcanic turf cone, which is formed by magma hitting cold seawater. At the highest point, it's almost 500 feet, and it serves as a nesting and resting ground for some of the seabirds, including boobies and frigates. What we didn't come here to look at is the rock out of the water. We came here because of the diverse marine life that congregates around this rock underwater. We had completed a pre-dive briefing on the boat and a check dive to verify our equipment was in good order before we got to Kicker Rock. This gave us the ability to get wet just as soon as the boat stopped moving. We make our way down to about 18 meters or 60 feet along the rocky wall, and we begin swimming counterclockwise around the island. We reach the cut between the two big sections of rock. It's identifiable by the strong tidal surge that creates waves of sand on the bottom, while it pushes us back and forth too. Visibility isn't great. We can see maybe 60 feet, which to me is a little uneasy, given that we're going to see sharks. I would like to see them from a distance and know where they are, not just have them suddenly appear out of thin air, or murky water as it may be, just a few yards away. As we get through the passage, we come to the first cleaning station area, and the visibility improves a bit. It's not long before our dive master gives us the first fin sign to indicate a shark. It was on the edge of our visibility range, but I could see the silhouette. Sharks aren't the only thing here to be cleaned and foraged, though. A large sea turtle appeared rather close to us and casually swam along with no apparent concern for us. It wasn't long after that when we were treated to our first good look at 3 hammerhead sharks. This is what we came for. Reef sharks are fairly common in many areas, but schools of hammerheads are a special treat. They swim around with no sense of purpose or care. We saw no aggressive behavior here, and why should we? They were here to be cleaned and serviced by others, not for lunch, right? The area is full of other fish life as well. Everything from small wrasse to large parrotfish and hogfish are swimming around. Some schools are all the same species, while others appear to be a collection of multiple. We had an eagle ray swim by, but I wasn't able to get a good shot of that. That's okay. A few of them made a repeat appearance for us when we came back to snorkel a few days later. Hey, did you know that hogfish can change between male and female during the course of their life? Yeah, they start out as females, and they're very vibrant in color and character. And as they get older, they turn into males and develop a big hump on their head. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of coral along Kicker Rock. The rock wall itself has some growth, but not what you might expect for something that's been in the ocean for millions of years. Is it that the fish are just too good a job at cleaning the rocks all day long and there's no chance for it to take hold? Or maybe it's the variable water temperatures that we felt from the different currents that feed this area. Whatever it is, I was surprised to see limited growth. The most common item found outside of the fish are sea urchins, black ones with soft spines that I've seen in many locations, and a different breed that looks like a baseball covered with 1 to 2 inch long thick spines all over, almost like what I'd expect a World War II submarine mine to look like in miniature. We did also spot a few starfish that are believed to be known as chocolate starfish, even though they're yellow. But I'm not a marine biologist, just going by what pops up first on a Google search scrolling through the images. As we started our ascent to conclude our first dive, we kept getting distracted by more sharks swimming around. It seemed like every time we would get to our safety stop depth and start our 3-minute hold, someone would spot something and we'd all swim off again. We did eventually complete our safety stop and then reach the surface, but I was into my reserve pressure a bit by the time we did. And we had a little celebratory cheer on the surface. After a rest period back on the boat and a bottle change, we were back in the water for our second dive. This time we descended from a different spot, down along a wall that seemed to be made of a thick shag carpet. The visibility was not great again, and it wasn't until we got down a ways and swam a little closer to the wall that we can tell it wasn't a real wall at all. Rather, it was a huge wall of fish. A bait ball is the more appropriate term. What type of fish were they? I'm sorry, I don't actually remember what the guide said. But as we descend and approach the fish, they part casually, creating a tunnel for us. If you leave too much space between you and the person in front, the fish will close in and seemingly engulf them. A few times, the only thing I was able to see of our guide in front of me was a short flash of his orange fins. As we moved deeper into the bait ball, it was like entering a cave. It became nearly pitch black in front of me. I won't lie. My heart rate was up a few beats by this point already. The fish can be disorienting, and then combine that with the darkness, and my breathing rate increased a little bit more. It didn't take too long, maybe about 5 minutes, then we reached the other side of the bait ball where we were greeted by different sights. Sea lions swimming through the bait ball for an afternoon snack, sharks darting in and out, and a smaller school of young barracuda circling overhead. It was truly a spectacular dive. It didn't last as long as the first, though. We went deeper than I expected, which uses more air, and my gauge reading 24 meters at one point. Technically, I'm only certified to 18. Add to that my increased heart rate and breathing from the rush of being in that bait ball, followed by the exciting sights on the other side, and it wasn't long before I was notifying the dive master that I was at the pressure minimum for our required ascent. I thought I was tough on my air. It turns out that 2 people in the other dive group that afternoon actually sucked their tanks dry and had to buddy breathe to ascend. At least I still had 150 psi left in my tank when I hit the surface. Hey, just in case you missed that, let's take a look at that in slower motion. The diving was great, but my ears take a beating every time I do it, so I don't want to push my luck and dive too frequently. Others on the trip had mentioned they'd come out and snorkeled the site prior and was almost as good of an experience. So Jake, Ilse, and I decided to book another trip as snorkelers on a different day. It was another good trip, and you do see things differently. Being close to the surface, you see more colors, and we hugged the wall more, which provided a better view of all the little varieties of fish that hide in the nooks and crannies. We also saw 2 different eagle rays, and I know they were different because one was missing a tail. We also saw multiple reef shark, which I believe to be the local Galapagos reef shark variety, but no hammerheads that day. And the sea lions didn't miss the party either, swimming around us and diving back through the bait wall for a snack. Or maybe they just do it for fun. Overall, the trips to Kicker Rock did not disappoint. It may have been a bad thing though. Now, future dives, when I don't see multiple sharks, big bait balls of fish, barracuda schools, and rays swimming around, I might be a little disappointed. But then again, every experience for me in the water is generally enjoyable, even when it's just a short swim around the boat at anchor. So probably not. Only time will tell.